Anyway, guys, let's start with Captain Vaughn. Captain Vaughn is a pretty recent release. As I said in the introduction, I know very little to nothing about Captain Vaughn because I'm not a huge Clone Wars guy. Although one day I have said repeatedly that I will give it another chance, and I shall.
No, you won't.
But for now, yeah, but I will, Carlos. I will. But for now, when I watch, and wait till I watch the arc, and then when I watch, isn't what it's called the arc, Carlos?
There's like multiple.
What is the thing called where you watch only
storylines.
the essential episodes? What is that called?
I don't know, arc
Gene?
stuff. I don't know.
I don't know. It's something like that, but it's something like that, right? But Captain Vaughn, the final product, right? It's showing this Captain Vaughn. I think this is pretty cool, but I'll start with layout because layout, bro, I know this one might be a little more appealing to you probably than me and Carlos. I don't know about Dean. Dean's the wild card. But layout, what do you think about this Captain Vaughn, bro?
I mean, it's Captain Vaughn.
So you're in the same boat then.
No. I mean, it's
Okay.
it's definitely his arc wasn't really that big in the series itself. I mean, he was there. He was definitely relevant, but most of his character development. I mean, to me, was towards season 7. To be quite honest, throughout, I mean, he was there, but there was so many clones to go by, but he was still good. I mean, it was still, a relevant clone and stuff like that. Good piece to have if you're a collector. So, I mean, it's a Star Wars piece. Again, if you're a collector, if you're a Star Wars collector, then definitely you would want to have this piece in your collection. I didn't pre-order it yet because I know he's still going to be available. I'll get him once he's there. But yeah, I mean, decent to have as part of, a companion piece to Ahsoka, rest of the 501st, you can have him actually leading off a squadron itself. So yeah, and the thing is, like I said, he never took off his helmet. So there wasn't really no relevant, you know what I mean? Like you didn't really get a chance to really see him in season 7. So they went, with the accuracy off of season 7. So, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth having. We'll say that if you're a Star Wars collector, if you're a true Star Wars collector, then definitely is worth having in your collection. So.
Gotcha. But it's definitely so. Like Leao, he's not a super important character. It sounds like he's just kind of like another trooper with a little bit of a personality and characterization.
I mean, it's not to say that he's not important, because he is. Like he's important to the development of that particular season and what happened, so very important character to have, especially like, again, season 7 was really emotional. It was like an emotional ride for like, Ahsoka's character. So definitely to see where it went and, with Vaughn and the rest of them, you know what I mean? It's just like, having, you have like the rest of your brothers, and all of a sudden for no reason at all, they're trying to kill you. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And you're struggling with like whether or not you want to, you don't want to see them die, but at the same time, like you got to protect yourself. So again, it's definitely a relevant storyline. He's a very important character. Again, I'll have him in my collection. I know I will. Definitely. So to me, definitely if you're a Star Wars fan, it's good to have this piece in your collection, man. It will look good. It would definitely look. And on top of that, the production photos, they sold me on it because he killed it with these photos. I'm not gonna lie, like he did kill it with these photos. They look really, really good. Next to the rest of the 501st, and he stands out. Definitely. So yeah. No.
Cool.
Yeah. Good.
So it's gonna be a pickup for you then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Dean, what about you, bro? You're the wild card here. I don't know what you're gonna say about this.
Oh, dude, I love clones.
Okay. Well, fill me in.
Yeah.
I have like 13 or 14 clones. Most old Sideshow ones, but yeah, clones are my jam.
Yeah.
So Commander Vaughn, commander of the 332nd Battalion.
Mm-hmm.
I would say more important characters in that arc are Jesse and Rex.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vaughn, he's the commander, so you see him a little more than like the average clone.
Yeah.
This one, when they first showed it, they just had like Commander Cody helmet pre-painted.
Yeah.
Which was not good because Commander Cody has a very unique bottom half of the helmet. So they did change that. So that's really good to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fucking cool. I love clones. Named clones are usually worth more long term. So this will be a super easy pickup whenever it gets released. But I mean, you can still buy Captain Rex right now, and that one I
Right.
thought
And
was going to
discounted.
be
Yeah.
impossible to get. And so I'm not in a huge rush to get this, but I do really like to see it. I did just pick up Ahsoka this week.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Amazing figure, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, bro. It is.
Totally. I thought I was going to be underwhelmed.
Once you get it in hand, bro, it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Super
worth
good.
it. It's definitely worth it to have it.
Such a great figure.
I don't think
So
so.
yeah, this is a
Carlos, I knew you would say that, bro.
this is a really easy pickup for me. Because I have the 501st Deluxe, which has the 332nd helmet. And I always wanted a second one, but if I just get Commander Vaughn and then I have Rex and then one 501st Deluxe, I'll be set for my shelf. So yeah, this is a really easy pickup.
Okay. Okay. Well, Carlos, fill us in on your thoughts on Captain Vaughn here, or Commander Vaughn, as Dean stated. So, what do you think, bro? To me, I think we're probably going to be in alignment here. This is, to me, because I don't really know much about the character. I know these troopers and these clones tend to move pretty well. They sell. They're always in the best sellers list. But to me, it's just kind of another clone because I don't really know much about the show. Are you kind of in the same boat?
Well, I mean, I've seen the arcs enough to know enough about Captain Vaughn, so I've seen all the important arcs. But what I'm gonna say though is, and Will and I will make a video about this, right, to explain what I'm gonna be referring to. It's called tier-based collecting, and once we introduce it, it'll make more sense. But basically, in my tier-based, I don't believe this is not gonna make the cut for me because I'm not really. Even though I saw the arcs, I don't feel connected to it. And honestly, even for Star Wars collectors who do implement this new tier-based thing that we're going to introduce soon, I don't believe he'll make the cut too. I don't believe he's important enough to make that cut when it comes into tier-based collecting. And maybe a Captain Rex or a Commander Cody, but I doubt that Jesse or Captain Vaughn will make the cut. And like I said, once we introduce it, it'll make more sense. But I just don't think he's important enough when it comes down to collecting the essentials. So I mean, he looks cool. I'm not gonna say he doesn't. So does, in my opinion, the armorized Deadpool. He looks pretty cool too, but they're both non-essential. So that's how I see him.
Yeah. That's how I tend to be too, but I guess it's a matter of subjectivity. I mean, it's like, like to huge Clone Wars fans, they might view it this way, but I guess, when we introduce the kind of philosophy that we're going with, it might make a little more sense, like I said. But yeah, I mean, like if you're limiting yourself to say 50, 60, 70 figures, right? When you start really sort of looking at that and taking a step back from it, you're like, is Captain Vaughn really in the top 70 figures for me? If you're having more than that, then it's a different conversation. But if you're limiting yourself to a set amount, that's pretty reasonable. Then I would say he's probably not going to make the cut. But
I think it's going to depend on, like, again, you're going to have casuals. You'll have people. Right. I mean, if the thing is, it's I'll put it to you this way. Like, I'm not here to really speak for those who don't like the figure. I'm not here to speak for people who don't really, that there's no level of importance for the character because they haven't really followed the show. So I can't really speak for them. I can only speak for those such as myself, such as maybe Dean and anybody else who have really dove into Clone Wars, appreciates it for what it is. Because again, like I said, if you dive into Clone Wars, it's sort of like it cleans up everything that you might have actually seen with Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. It is a dope filler. It is, in my opinion, it's even better than both films because it fills in the blanks and it kind of tells you the reason why things, especially nicely done with season 7. It answered so many questions. So when you follow that, if you are a diehard Clone Wars fan, I mean, I am. So anything that actually is released from the IP, I'm going to get. That's not going to be for everybody else. I mean, the thing is, it's like you have people who really want or would love to have this piece in their collection, and it does carry a level of importance based on the season, based on what they basically saw and what you know about the clones. If you're a clone collector, yes, it's important to you. Mm-hmm. I didn't pre-order because I don't pre-order, but that's not to say that I'm not going to have this figure because I will. It's going to look really, really good. But then again, if you're not someone who really dove into that season or even watched, really consistently watch the season and see its development, then you're not going to really have an attachment to it. Therefore, you may not have attachment to the character. I mean, that's what it is. So, I mean, again, I mean, it's all things subjective, just like collecting anything that we actually see, it's how it is. So,
what I was, I guess, referring to more is like, and this thing called tier based, but really it's more about those collectors who are trying to like limit themselves to like 50 or, no more than like 75 figures. Things we'll talk about more when we do make the video. What I'm saying is that even if you followed it, I just don't think that this guy even makes the cut. So even if like Leo, if you were to say like, okay, I'm going to limit myself to only like 50 figures, I don't know if Captain Vaughn makes the cut. You know what I mean?
He
I just
probably
don't think it makes it for him.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean,
even someone who likes clones and that. And,
right.
Yeah.
So if you were to be like,
I'm find a pretty diehard Clone Wars fan.
Rex and Cody would definitely.
Yeah, sure. Rex and Cody might be.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So that's what tier base is more about. Like for those who want to, not have 100+ figures or 200 figures, but if you were to be like, okay, I'm gonna have 50 to 75 as my max, I don't think this guy makes the cut. No matter.
And it's interesting
unless you're like hardcore.
Sorry, Carlos.
I just don't think the majority will even get it.
My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. But so but what I was going to say is, just doing this system, I can say, we'll kind of talk more about it. But, limiting myself to 65, looking at, that was really hard. That was really difficult, narrowing it down to 65. If you have room for a lot more collectibles, it's not really a conversation. But, but if you are looking to limit, then for sure, it really makes you think. It really makes you like look at it and you're like, damn, do I love that character in the top 60? And the 60 sounds like a lot, but it's really not. It's really not.
But how
you feel that pretty quickly.
In your list, do you have sequel trilogies in that list?
Dude, of course I do.
See, like that's the thing. It's definitely.
But for you,
subjective.
they would be like number 500.
So maybe Vaughn is someone's.
Sure, he could be.
So
it could.
It's not impossible to think that.
No,
way.
not impossible.
No.
Vaughn is going to be basically very, very important to people who collect just clones, because there are people that within their 50 or 60, they collect clones. Like that's primarily, they'll collect clones before they'll collect main characters because they're more so associated with that. So again, like I think it would for them, you'll have a group of individuals where it may actually reach their top, because again, they're more so involved in clones. They want to have clones and actually clone commanders, that will represent each different faction, to have their own faction of clone commanders and stuff like that would lead a battalion. So that's basically to where it is. I mean, like somebody says,
I mean, like, there would be some. I just think it
people like that. So
no doubt.
I mean, you're right. I mean, there would be those. I just think it would be a very small minority. I don't think many would approach that.
Yeah, it just depends how many figures you want. But anyway, guys.
Yeah, obviously.